Today we are going to talk about artificial intelligence, as Samar said earlier, and hopefully all of us together are going to see how we can exploit artificial intelligence in our English language classes to provide a more congenial, better, conducive context for our language learners. So let's begin with this. Uh, Please feel free to either open your microphone or write in the chat box anything that springs to mind when you think about artificial intelligence. You don't have to think hard. Just open your microphone. What is the first word that comes to mind when you think about artificial intelligence? Either shout it out or type in the chat box.
I guess the first thing that comes to my mind concerning artificial intelligence is that it's something that's in the art of technology. We'd like to use something to help, other people in carrying out or implementing their tasks, whatever they are. So
Mm,
artificial intelligence is not really a human being, but trying to be like.
right. Very true, Hassan. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of facilitation, you try to facilitate other people tools, or tasks using some tools, some technology. That's it.
Excellent. That's a very, very good point, and especially toward the end of the workshop today, we are going to discuss that it must act as a facilitator and uh, not to overuse it because there is a danger, I guess, these days of all of us teachers to overuse AI aimlessly sometimes. Very, very, very interesting point. Thank you. Anybody else? Anything in the chat box, or you can just open your microphone.
I would like to go for more details. So it's going to save time and effort on both, learners and teachers as well. So by
Hmm,
using some ready-made materials, and helping the students to find such material for themselves as well. So it may encourage autonomous learning.
absolutely. So it is going to increase autonomy in language learning. So I entirely agree with you, Hassan. Very, very valid points. Okay, it's good. I hope at the beginning of today's session, I have made you think about AI, or at least something that comes to mind. AI has, in fact, been in use and practice for a while now. But I guess the birth of ChatGPT brought it to the forefront, and everybody started learning more about it and using it and experimenting with that. Today, we are going to look at only two types of AI, and that is text generators and image generators. And even for these two, we are not going to explore all of the tools that are currently available thoroughly. Uh, we are just going to look at a handful of tools because I guess that's enough if we can work with just two, three tools more effectively with higher quality than knowing about many of them. So this is what we are going to hopefully cover today together. The first one is AI text generator, and I would like to talk about these four. And the reason that I have selected these four is that sometimes in some countries, I have noticed that ChatGPT uh, has got some restrictions and people need to have filter breakers, or the same may hold true for Gemini, which is for Google. But these other two, Poe and Hugging Chat, uh, are probably the alternative options with as effective as results. So these are the four uh, text generators that we are going to discuss today. First of all, the significant part for text generators is specific prompts. And prompt basically means instructions, what we want to achieve. Uh, and there are, I guess, only 5 things we as English language teachers that need to take into account when we want to give the instructions or technically speaking, these prompts to our text generators. And those are the proficiency level, length of the text, the topic that we would like the AI to generate for us, our target audience, specifically their age and interest, and finally the target language, whether we are going to focus on a particular area of language, whether it is grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, or it's one of the 4 skills. So first, I used poll, and this is my prompt. This is what exactly I wrote in the prompt, and this is half of what it produced for me. I could not capture the entire text because it was too long, but I thought you would understand the point. When I gave it this broad, overgeneralized prompt, it did give me a text, which is not too far from what the topic is. But there are several issues with that. And the issue is that one of the issues is that we have not specified our target audience. How old are our learners? What they are really interested in. We have not specified the proficiency level of our language learners. And this text might be interesting for somebody who is a tech savvy person or a learner who is into technology, but we do not know if they understand everything because there is no filter for this. To make it more specific, this time I used this prompt. So I give you a minute to read my prompt and then take a look at the text that Poe generated. So I stop talking now and I give everyone maybe 1 or 2 minutes to explore everything. Okay, so with a more specific prompt here, you can see that I am in control of the length of the text that technology is creating for me, the level of my learners, uh, how I want the text to develop. Uh, and in the end, I have also asked it to create 4 reflective questions based on this. You can usually ask AI, and this is what happens in published textbooks, to produce comprehension questions, which are based on how well our learners have understood the text, or reflective questions, which are my favorite, to be honest with you, and I will tell you the reason, which is somehow linking the text and the topic to our learners and their experience with the topic and their own lives. I like reflective questions better because to me, they immediately and automatically also personalize our content. So we don't really focus on only the comprehension of the message, but also how meaningful and relatable it is to our learners. It is up to you whether you would like AI to create comprehension questions for you or reflective questions. I personally, regardless of the level of our learners, prefer reflective questions because it encourages critical thinking. It involves personalization in the lessons, but ultimately it is up to you. Uh, and now I want you to open your browsers and use one of these four. All of them are free. Hopefully, all of them are ready to use in your country or your region. And please generate a text with these five specific uh, variables in mind. And then tell us about the text that you just generated. So I give you a couple minutes. Please open one of these uh, text generators. I guess with Poe and Hugging Chat, you don't even have to go through a lot of registration and steps. So let's see. I give you 2, 3 minutes. Use anyone you would like to try, but make sure to use these five factors in your prompt. And then after some minutes, please feel free to open your microphone and tell us what you generated. Thank you.
Just just one remark here, please. If you go back to the previous slide here, you say about AI, some kind of smart computer technology or so that tries to think. I don't think anybody thinks on this world except human beings. These are based like when in the old format of such computer technology, you find YouTube, for example, and you search for a topic, specific topic, you can find many websites giving you what you want, right? So it
Right.
depends on the input you have. So recently they have put a lot of material for the input, so you can get back whatever you want. Now the computer will select, but a computer can never think. I guess this is a human aspect of fiction, not for technology or tools.
Yeah, you're right, Hassan. However, I am a bit reluctant to entirely agree with you to say that the computer can never think. We can say the computer cannot think yet, but I'm not sure if the word never may be too strong for this situation. Yeah, you're right. Um, but let's see how we can use this, especially with our mm, specific factors to produce something that we can use in our classes very effectively. Okay, so Hassan, I also would like you to give it a go.
Sure, yeah. Is it BO ChatGPT or BO just BO?
Mm, which one? ChatGPT, POE, anyone. You can use any of these for that you would
Now, when
like to.
I tried to search for BO, it also has ChatGPT within it. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
wonder.
right. Yeah. Poe, actually, yeah, true. Very good point. Poe has got, it uses uh, the database from many other AI uh, websites and companies. So that could be uh, a collective source of AI. Yeah,
And it's easier to sign in. It's better than the ChatGPT if you have to
yeah.
do a longer process.
I guess Hugging Chat would be also easy to sign in and to toy with, especially if you haven't worked with that before. So everyone, please take your time, some minutes, choose any topic, but I would like you to specifically please include these 5 factors and then share your findings with us. Thank you. Samar, you can also give it a go and let us know what you discovered.
Okay, ChatGPT, I would like you to create a level 1 English text, for reading comprehension, about 75 words on the topic of, let's say, sports.
Okay.
And the audience would pay something like the grade 6 or 7. And the language is reading skills, so you need to find some multiple choice questions as well.
All right. So you can ask for a particular number of multiple choice questions in terms of comprehension questions at the end of the text. Good.
I'm sorry, I left my mic on. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Yes. You were thinking out loud and we could hear you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
Yeah. I thought you were sharing your your thoughts with us. That's
No,
that's
no,
okay.
no.
That's
It just happened, accidentally. I didn't mean that.
Yeah.
hi, Salah. Could you generate anything using AI?
Yeah, I did already. I have a text here about sports. Okay. And
Okay.
the title is World of Sports, and the text is about 75 words. It says here, sports are exciting part of our lives. They offer numerous benefits, such as improving physical fitness, developing teamwork skills, and boosting self-confidence. From soccer to swimming and basketball to
Hassan,
badminton.
sorry to interrupt you. You don't have to read it out. Just tell me. You said that the length of the text is 75 words.
Yeah.
What was your instruction for the length? What did you ask the AI
I
to generate
said
for you?
I want a text about sports for
Okay.
grade 7 or 6, and about the topic sports, and
Okay.
it should reflect some multiple choice questions as well.
Okay, so you did not specify the length of the text, and it was automatically generated at a 75 word level. Remember,
No, I
you can
said
also.
75 words. I said
Oh,
75
oh,
words.
you said 75 words.
Yeah,
Oh, good. Very interesting. Okay, so you said exactly 75 words.
exactly. Yeah.
Good. Okay, and multiple choice questions at the end.
And I have 3 multiple choice questions as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, Hassan. Just remember, you can give it a very, very specific, inflexible number, such as 75 words, as you did, but you can also be a bit more flexible and malleable. You can say the text should be around 70 to 90 words. And it could give you even sometimes more interesting content. So instead of just 75 words, try typing around a range of your desired length. But very good, thank you. What about others? Other participants did anyway. And Hassan, which generator did you use?
I used the POO, and it has
Oh,
the ChatGPT within. I don't know
oh,
how really, because
yeah.
computer-wise I'm not that good. But I just typed, POO, POE, and then I looked at the search and find number one. But the ChatGPT was included as well.
Yeah.
How, I
So
don't know.
for some countries where ChatGPT is restricted now, you can use POE
Yeah.
because it is within the database.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, it's a very good tool for teachers, because it will facilitate their job in the first place. They can make exams easily. They can prepare any, activity easily and fast. So it's really good. And it should be
Absolutely.
used as well for students. They can look for something. So instead of just reinventing the wheel, now we can discuss their, findings. It's a matter of learning, as we said, to encourage autonomous learning. But what matters is that the students know what they have found.
Right. And it gives them a sense of achievement and self-confidence
Yes,
when they are creating something, when they
yes.
are. Yeah, absolutely. Uh, I would like to hear from one more participant and then we move on.
Okay.
Has anybody else generated a text using any of these AI text generators with these 5 factors included in the prompt?
What I'd like to say is that the more specific you are with your, context here, the more accurate material you will have.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's why I showed you here. Let me go back to my slides here. That's why I showed you that when we give a prompt like this, generated text for English language learners on the topic of AI, and I told you the text that you can see right now is
More
40%.
general. Yeah, more general.
It is 40% of what I am displaying here. I saw Fatma also raised her hand. So Fatma, would you please share with us your experience with this now?
Okay. Good evening, sir. Hello. No.
Hi.
Yeah. I already used Hugging Chat.
Mhm,
Sorry, Hugging Chat.
mhm.
Yes, I give it a prompt about healthy food, write an essay on healthy food, and
Okay.
generated about 4 paragraphs in
Okay.
within 2 minutes or 1 minute. It's a big yes, achievement, I think.
Uh, in 2 minutes, I didn't catch that part. What do you mean in 2 minutes?
Okay, I get in or sign in, then I prompt it, yes, or I use it. It's my first time to use Hugging
Mm,
Chat, so I
mm.
sign in first.
Yeah, yeah.
So it generated. It made me takes just a few seconds, not 2 minutes. Yes.
Mm, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. That's good about it. Very good, Fatma. What I could hear from your words is that you gave it a specific topic, which was about health. You gave it a specific length, which was
Yeah.
4 paragraphs, but I did not hear the proficiency level, and I did not hear the age of your learners, and I did not hear what your particular focus of this text wants to be. Do you want it to focus on a particular type of grammar, vocabulary about health, or like
Mm.
Hassan, do you want to
No,
improve sub skills of reading, skimming, scanning, or all of those things?
just a
Or,
text for reading. Yes, not
oh,
for
so
grammar. Or, yeah.
to have a better experience, Fatima, next time, make
Mm.
sure to include all of these things. It gives you a better, more appropriate, more tailored, if you will, content for your learners when you include all of these 5 factors.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Fatima, for sharing your experience with us. If nobody else wants to share with us their experience at the moment, we can move on to image generators, and I tell you something interesting there. Okay, maybe that's enough for generative AI and texts, but please take your time to toy with that in your free time to see how your texts can be uh, useful and interesting later with these 5 simple factors.
Excuse me,
Moving
sir.
on,
Excuse me,
yeah,
sir. Uh,
yeah,
if we just, give the same prompt to all these, applications or whatever you like to call them,
yeah.
would we have the same material or somehow different material?
I guess you would have different content, even though the aim and the quality and the length would still be more or less similar. But I doubt if you get identical content with the same prompt. No, you wouldn't get identical content, Hassan. Give it a try. I don't think you would get, because I have tried that. Whenever I want to get something, I usually open 2, 3 AI machines and I copy paste the same instructions, and I have always, in my experience,
Can can we just
received
try?
different.
Can we try
Yeah,
it
yeah,
now?
right now.
Just
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
look at 2 of these and see. Put
yeah,
the same prompt. Put the same prompt so
yeah.
we can see if will have the same results
Uh,
or different.
yeah, sure. Let me see if I can do it for you. So I stop sharing.
Okay.
Let me open my own uh prompt. So here I use Gemini and Poe. Okay, on Gemini, let me type generate.
Okay. Can I participate in this point?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely true, man.
if you use the same prompt for the same application, you will find different content. So I think if you use different applications, you can find different content. So because I used it before, so what I found is that they are really different, even if you use the same application.
Hmm. Wow, interesting. So even
So
with the
why do
same
you think so
application.
then? If it's the same material, why do you think so? If
Oh,
we
I
have the
think
same prompt.
Yeah, I think the reason is that the database of each AI machine is enormous. It is just beyond imagination, and that is why, and it is ever growing, Hassan. It is
Yes.
not that, okay, today they have got, for example, this amount of information, tomorrow the same. No, it is by second growing. And that's why you can see now they've got ChatGPT 4 and they are making ChatGPT 5. And each one, each upgrade in the level is not just being faster or giving you a bit of more tools. No, it is again massive mine of newly added information. Anyhow, I'm putting what you said into practice. A text on the topic of Ramadan from
I wish you could,
yeah.
share your screen already, with us so we can see exactly what you're
Yes,
telling.
yes, yes. I'm about to do that. Okay. So let me share my screen with all of you again. here, this is Gemini, which is developed by Google. My prompt is generate a text on the topic of Ramadan for B1 language learners. Make it 5 paragraphs at about 300 words and focus on reading sub-skill of skimming. Finally, generate 4 comprehension questions. And look here, the topic is Ramadan, a holy month for Muslims. 3, 4, 5 paragraphs, exactly as I wanted it to be. And at the end there are 4 comprehension questions. The same prompt for ChatGPT, exactly the same prompt, generate. You see, the topic is understanding Ramadan, and it's a different text and 4 comprehension questions. So as I said, it gives us what we were looking for, but I doubt if it ever gives us identical content. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you very much. It was very
Hassan.
important for me, to know the differences. Even as one of our participants said that even if you use the same application or ChatGPT, whatever, you will have different
Yeah,
material every now and then because, as you
exactly.
said, it's ever growing. Thank you very much.
True,
It's really
true. Thank
important.
you for your question. Okay, let's move on. Can you see my slides now?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Fatima. Next one, as we also had it here, is to produce some level appropriate text, which is something we need to be aware of, the meaning of proficiency and level appropriacy. Usually, I have noticed that in many parts of the world and language centers, teachers are familiar with common European framework of reference for languages from A1 to C2, but it does not uh, uh, restrict to that. You can use IELTS, you can use the other platforms. The other one that I know is for Pearson, a global scale of English. It ranges from 10 to 90, and it is even much more specific than CEFR. You can give it a go later. Give it the target learner. Who are they? Are they young learners, business learners, and what language or a skill you want to focus on? And it gives you the things that they must be able to do at that level. You can also adjust the level. So remember, with this global scale of English, you can generate even more specific text, because here, if you adjust the level, for example, to 22 to 30, which is A1, still A1 plus, for example, and then choose the skill, for example, speaking. It gives you that at this range, and then your learners, for example, business English learners. It tells you that business language learners must be able to do all of these things for their speaking. And then you can use those can-do statements in your prompts to generate even a more specific uh, text or content for your learners. So again, please take notes of this and later experiment with that. I think you would like it and enjoy it, because it's something not as familiar as just CEFR. It gives you more specific content. And the other thing is you need to make sure, again, what language or skills you want to focus on. Usually, this graph shows something very renowned in the world, which is the flow zone or flow state. Usually students are really engaged with texts that are slightly above their current level. So it is a slightly challenging what Stefan Krashen some decades ago discussed comprehensible input and I+1. So also I want you to remember that if your students are, for example, at the B1 level, especially if there are a couple of stronger students, you can ask ChatGPT, Poe, Hugging Chat, or any tool you use to give you a text which is aimed at B1 or slightly higher, or B1 plus, or with that global scale of English, you can be even more specific. And later, we will talk about differentiation in a moment. Now, we talked about prompts. I give you a moment to look at this prompt now and see what it generated. Then I will talk about that. So 1 minute, please just study this page. This time I used Hugging Chat to generate this text. Okay, so this time I used Hugging Chat, and this was my prompt with the things that we discussed earlier with the factors. And what is interesting here is that I would like to bring to your attention that I used exactly the same text that was generated here. So if you look at the content, I used the precise text and gave it to ChatGPT. And I said, make this dialogue at an A1 level. So this one was B1. And I copy pasted this to ChatGPT and I said, okay, make it at A1, but keep all the other things, and see immediately. Why am I talking about this? It's because invariably in our classes, there are students who need more time to read some text, to cope with some tasks. And if we are aware of that, we can usually have 2 or even 3 types of text and then distribute that among our learners. We say we are doing it randomly. So we're not going to say, okay, Peter, because you're weaker than Sarah, this is for you, because it would obviously have got its own problems. So we say that, okay, I'm going to put you into A's, B's, and C's. So A, B, C, A, B, C. Then we give students A text with the same topic, which is challenging. The students B, something in between, and a student C, something easier. So everybody is involved. Everybody is reading or doing something within the same topic or focus, and nobody is feeling left behind. And finally, look, even though I asked ChatGPT to give me a text at an A1 level, which is an A1 level, it has included some incredible language, functional, everyday language, authentic language that we can focus on. This is something that I never skip in my classes. If there is a dialogue, if there is a role play, I always try to include and focus specifically on that useful language. These parts. I am 100% sure you are lovely teachers. You are certainly more creative than I am. So you can do a lot of fun, interactive things with these bits of language. I just wanted to once again bring it to your attention that don't please take it for granted that, okay, A1 finished. Such language can be very, very useful, versatile, and helpful for our learners. And with that, we now move on to 3 only tools for AI image generators. I have selected these 3 because all of them are free. We don't have to pay for anything here. And again, there are hundreds of them available. And day by day, this is growing. But I guess if we can only utilize these 2 or 3, but deeply and comprehensively, that would suffice. So these are the 3 image generators, and we are going to look at all of the 3 again today. The first one, Blockade Labs. This is my prompt from a couple of weeks ago. Please take a look at my prompt. Now, can you guess the topic of my lesson when I wanted to get this image from AI? What do you think the topic of our lesson was?
Maybe traveling or
Mm,
taking rests.
they're very good, Samar. What excellent. What about others?
We're talking about the environment and
Okay.
different types of
Environment.
environment here. You're looking at the sea, you're looking at the village, and you're looking at
Ah,
mountains, different types of environment, So you're
yeah,
talking about ecology and such as stuff.
right.
But
True.
you
Yes.
asked here for flying kites, but I can't see any. We
Yeah,
can find flying
exactly.
kites.
Yeah. No,
It's
yeah,
missing.
yeah. Maybe I had to be more specific, but yes, there are no flying kites. The topic of that unit of the text was nature.
Nature.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, nature. And what I wanted to achieve is that with this simple text, I would like to give you some suggestions on how incredibly it can work. And this is what I did also in my class. So these are only a couple of ideas. So I give Blockade Labs this prompt, and it gave me this image. And this image for Blockade Labs, it is panoramic, so you can look at a 360-degree view. So that is really cool about Blockade Labs, and especially some teenagers and young learners would find it really amazing and eye-catching. What we can do in our classes, for the target vocabulary, we can include the target vocabulary in our prompt. So here, for me, mountain, river, village, sand, sea, beach, all of these things are the
Mountain.
are the target vocabulary, something that the students will see in the units later. And then as a lead in of our class, we can just show this picture and ask the students to tell each other what they can see. And this also informs us about their language repertoire. Like, oh, do they know all of the words? If they don't, okay, so that's where I'm going to focus a bit more. If they already know everything, then I'm going to upgrade their language. Maybe I can teach them, if they already know village, maybe I can teach them, for example, rustic or quiet or peaceful. If they know mountain, I can teach them, for example, I don't know, a snow-capped mountains or range of mountain or anything else. So we can use these images as a very interesting lead-in. The other thing that I have done with another class and the same image in a younger learner class is I put this image on my laptop and I asked, they were grade 1 or 2. I'm not sure about their grade, but they were definitely primary students. I asked them to run to my desk, look at my image, and obviously there was no prompt like this. There was only one image. And they had to run back to their classmates and student partners and describe the image, and the other student had to draw it. And it was also another very interesting. It includes language, interaction, collaboration, and all of those things. This is the other thing that you can do to make your lessons interesting with the use of image generators. And finally, you can even assign this as homework if it is possible. So give your students, each student, some secret words. Like, okay, group A, these are your words. Group B, these are your words. Group C, these are your words. Go home, use this image generator, and bring your pictures to the class next session. And the other groups have to look at the pictures and guess the words, what they can see. So again, there are hundreds of other interesting creative activities that we can do with images. And I am again sure if you give it some thought, they can be helpful.
I guess.
Yes, Hassan.
I guess you can also assign a writing task based on such image and saying, would you like to spend your vacation in a place like this? Why or why not? And it could be a very good writing task or even speaking task. There are many things that you can use for the same stuff.
Yeah. Speaking, writing. For speaking, you can play so many interesting games with speaking.
Yes.
Writing, absolutely. So students have got some visual aid and they write about it. Yeah, many things. Honestly, the world is our oyster. The sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want to
Yeah.
do based on our learners' interest. Yep.
Yeah, I'm thinking of using this when we are presenting the new vocabulary. We can generate a picture from many of the vocabularies that we are gonna teach in the lesson, and then we can just not skipping slide by slide. You just use one slide to explain maybe 3 or 4 words in a time. You don't need to go through many slides to explain this.
Yeah, exactly. With one slide, Samar, you can do magic. You can, uh,
Exactly.
uh, you can encourage your students to give you a lot of output and at the same time work on different areas of language as well as skills. As Hassan said, you can focus on writing, you can focus on speaking, you can focus on reading. You can give them some text based on this image and they have to read for their student for I'm sorry for their partners, and they need to, I don't write about it, draw it or anything else. The other two tools here, the one on the right is art breather and the one on the left, I used deep dream generator, and I used referring back to again what you said, Hassan, I used the same prompt. I was imagining myself talking to you amazing teachers today. And I gave the same prompts to these two, and these are the pictures that it created. In one of them, it made me maybe way younger than I am, and the other one is a bit more accurate. So anyhow, I gave it the same prompt, and these are two different pictures. Uh, I'm just showing this to you to give you a clear picture of what kind of images you can get with each tool. So this this blockade labs gives you a more fancy panoramic picture. You can even use it live to look around. The other one, no, it's a stable picture, but it can also involve a lot of details. Uh, because the prompt that I have given it here is not too specific. And now you again, please use one of them. I give you maybe a couple minutes, 2-3 minutes. Use any one of these three, please, and include these 4 factors in your prompt and see what kind of image you get and share your experience with us, please. If you could get something, please share your findings with us. If you couldn't, it's okay. You can just maybe take notes or take a screenshot of these 4 factors. Usually that is enough to give us the image we're looking for. What kind of target vocabulary we are looking for. If appropriate, sometimes you can say a boy, a girl, or even a group of people. And then this descriptive language is also very important. Give it some more detail, like the one that I did. As Hassan correctly spotted, sometimes it misses some points. For example, I had also asked for some flying kites, but it failed to generate that. So try it with another tool, or you can use different prompts, and you can also include place. For example, in a house, in a village, in a school, or anything else. I guess only these 4 are enough to quickly generate the kind of image we're looking for. So once again, we don't really have to include too many factors to make it complicated and sometimes even confusing. Just these 4 and the first initial 5 factors. Do you remember those 5 factors for text generators? Anybody remembers those 5? Starting with proficiency level. What were the other 4? See if you can remember. It was proficiency level, the language or a skill we would like to focus on, length of the text, our audience, and their interest. Okay. And finally, with images, as we discussed earlier, there are so many things we can do in our classes. First of all, we can work on grammar. We can teach grammar in the context of the picture, what they can see. You can use present continuous, present perfect, again, based on the level of your students. You can have some customized vocabulary, again, based on the audience, something that does not exist in some textbooks and you would like to teach your students. The other one that I really like is a combination of multi-sensory engagement. So students can see, students can talk about. Sometimes you can give students some tasks like, okay, what do you see? If you were in this picture, where do you think you would be? What are you looking at? What can you smell? So this engagement of different senses can give students a different experience. And according to research, it can also help retain information. As Hassan also shared with us at the beginning of the session, it can increase our learner agency and their autonomy. So we can assign this as homework. They can do it by themselves. They can experiment with that at their own pace. And ultimately, we are keeping up to date and abreast with our learners, especially younger learners, because the world of technology is expanding day by day and rapidly. And teenagers and learners, when I was personally their age, such technology didn't exist, and I could not envision how tech savvy these teenagers are, because I couldn't do many of the things that they can do now. So I'm going to stop sharing now, just talk to you for a second. So finally, I guess there is a feeling of fear that some teachers think that, okay, AI is now everywhere, so maybe it replaces me. I don't think that AI yet is going to replace any one of us because of that human factor and that emotional connection, all of those things. But it is important for all of us to make sure to include technology whenever appropriate. My final point for you uh, is to make sure that if you want to use AI or any other form of technology, ask yourself, why am I going to do that? Just because it is there? Just to send a message that I'm a cool, uh, advanced, tech-savvy teacher? Or no, it can really make this lesson, this task really engaging, inclusive. So please experiment with AI and the few tools that we discussed today, but don't just use them for the sake of AI. Make sure to think about them, how you can involve your students. Sometimes do away with technology. Sometimes just you talking, interacting with your students can be much more interesting, again, dependent on the context, your age of students and their preferences. Uh, and that's it for tonight. If you have got any questions or anything else, I would also like to share my email address.
Yeah,
If you've
please.
got questions, you can ask me any questions later. This is my email. Uh, if there are anything
Yeah. And they can
that you
also
would like,
find you on LinkedIn, Amir, if
yeah,
you don't mind.
yeah, yeah, you can also find me on LinkedIn. And if there is anything you would like to discuss further, something you found really interesting, you tried with your class and you found it so engaging, you can also share that with me. I can share that with others. And I hope this short session or workshop gave you some food for thought and empowered you with some tiny ideas to run even more effective tasks and interesting lessons. If there are any questions now, in the end, I am happy to answer some.
I guess this
Yeah,
reminds me of what we call flip the classes, when you give students a task to do at home, then you have more time in class for discussion and participation and, maximize students' involvement in class. So we can use, a GPT or else or any of these tools to do the same. This one thing, and
Yeah.
we said to encourage autonomous learning as well and to help them have sense of achievement, right? So they feel
Absolutely.
more
Yeah.
successful.
Yes, Hassan, I tend to agree with you. This is especially very directly related to learner autonomy. Flipping the classroom is sometimes a bit different. That is when we want the students to learn the input, to learn the lesson at home, rather than do a task. When we want them to go study the grammar, go study the vocabulary without us teaching them the vocabulary, then come to the class and practice that. Just do a lot of practice. That is Philippine. But yeah, it has this feeling of a flipped classroom. But thank you. Yeah, that's true,
And
especially
in
on.
addition to that, you can get away with some of the textbooks material because sometimes teachers feel that they are prisoners of textbooks. So now they can have something else, they can create their own material and fit it to
Exactly.
these learners.
Absolutely, yeah. With textbooks, as you said, we should never feel like prisoners. Any kind of published textbooks, remember that the ultimate purpose of all of these published textbooks is business and selling them as widely and many as possible. So we should always keep in mind that we may not have the authority to choose or eliminate a textbook, but we should always give ourselves this freedom to supplement some materials, to skip some materials, or to focus on one page, one part, one task in more detail. Yeah, very good point.
One final thing is that I'd like to thank you for your, wonderful presentation, and to thank Dr. Summer as well for providing such a good material and such a good presenter. Thank you very much.
Thank
I enjoyed it.
you. Thank you, Hassan, for being absolutely active and informative and helpful in this session. And if nobody else has got
Yeah, guys, your mics are on, and if you would like to participate, thank Amir for this great presentation. You can do, and please don't forget to write a comment for us, because Amir is gonna read it. I will take a screenshot for him and send him your feedback. So please go to Facebook or LinkedIn, wherever you know me, please, and write a comment for Amir. Will be much appreciated from you. And if you would like to say anything, feel free to unmute yourself. And if you are embarrassed because there is any noise around you, we know that you are home. No worries. You can turn on your mic and speak.
And if you don't have any questions, one more time, I would like to thank you all for spending your precious time with all of us today in this session. I hope you are walking away with a little bit of further ideas and suggestions. Thank you so very much for being here tonight, and happy Ramadan one more time. I wish you all the best.
Thank you a lot,
And
Mr.
yeah, okay,
Thanks a
thank
lot.
you very much.
Blessed
Thank you
Ramadan
so
for
much.
everybody, presenter and the Dr. Summer and all participants. Thank you very much. Enjoy your
Thank you
night.
so
Happy
much,
Ramadan.
and goodbye. Bye bye. Thank you, Samar. Bye.
Thank you, Amir. Bye bye.